Alright guys, in this video we're going to take the already cool Traxxas Pro Scale Sand Car and we're going to make it just a little bit cooler. It's already one of the coolest RCs out right now, but we can do a little better. The underbody glow lights, the Pro Scale light kit. That's what we're going to be installing in this car today. Alright guys, jumping right into it here. I'm going to start with the underbody glow lights. Now these essentially just replace the Nerf bars right here. So they're pretty simple, straightforward installation. All the stuff, you should have all the included hardware to make all this stuff work together. The Pro Light kit actually has a power amplifier that you can actually control with the Bluetooth app if you have the Traxxas link. Yeah, so here's all the necessary little bits and pieces here. The Y adapter. Alright, so let's start taking this apart. Get these pieces put in. Alright, so the first step's going to be using a 2.5 millimeter hex wrench. I'll pull these Nerf bars off. The battery in my drill's dead and I don't feel like waiting for it to charge, so just use this MIP.
A few moments later.
Alright. Drops out. Easy peasy, just like that. And you're going to replace it with this. Your lead is going to go towards the front. Just like that. Alright. I might have to reroute that wire, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright guys, the next step is going to be to mount this 3-volt accessory power supply right here. Got these two holes right here. And that comes with the screws, the 12 millimeter screws supplied. So just screw that down and easy peasy. Alright guys, next step would be, if you're running just the underglow lights, is to remove the accessory plug from channel 1, plug this in of the Y harness into channel 1, then plug it back on together. This will go back into your harness here. So these are already plugged into the lights. But since we're going to be running this in conjunction with the Pro Scale light kit, I just want to make sure that nothing's going to overlap, or make sure that everything's going to be connected. So we'll see how that's going to wire up, and then we'll button this thing up and see what this bad boy looks like. Alright, speaking of that next step, it's going to be these Pro Scale lights. Get the light bar, side lights, you got a brake light in the back. All that good stuff. A little more involved. I'm going to take the roof off, looks like. Here. A little piece there. There you go. Alright. This is definitely going to be more scale look. Obviously, having the lights, all that good stuff. So, start putting this right in there. Alright guys, and for this part here, you are going to have to use this guide here and drill out some, what was it, 4.3 millimeter holes here for the side pod lights to mount into. So get a drill or your body reamer tool, whatever you may have, because you're going to need it. Alright, if you did everything right, run the wire through right there. That's how it should fit. You should have the top post should go through the hole there. Two bottom ones there. Now for the tricky part, you got I don't know if you can see it, but there's two holes already in the roll cage assembly to run screws through. So this thing was already designed with the light kit in mind, but you just got to run some screws in there, bolt it down, and then on the other side. Alright guys, with the roof removed, you're going to take your front light bar and it's just going to slide up underneath and push up into these two holes here. Then you're just going to run screws up in them. Do the same thing on the back. Roof goes back on. The plug goes on passenger side. Alright guys, once you get the front bar installed, I'm going to turn the rig around. Now with the reverse light, again the cords are going to run down the passenger side. You got to slide it into these little pins here, and then they're going to go up right under here. I'll show you what that looks like here. You're going to have it with this lip here facing towards the rear spoiler. Light slides in like that. Then you're going to have a 12mm screw is going to go in here, and then up through here it's going to go right there. Grab the other one, and slide it just like that. Alright, and it's going to go right up under here. Alright guys, got the rear light installed. I gotta admit, it's not the easiest thing to do. They actually made it a little difficult to understand the instructions. It made it seem like it was going under these plugs right here, but it's not. It's actually going up right behind the seats. There's these little posts they clip into, and then you screw up into them. Now it'd be easier if you remove the interior of this thing, but I didn't feel like doing that. I just wrenched out some little holes here, and I ran my my bit up through there and just screwed these in. But yeah, not the easiest thing to access, but yeah, it's in there. So let's continue the wiring. Alright, so this part here, you're actually going to use this location here. I'm going to use this here. That slides there, and that just slides down through here, just like that. And then you'll run your screws down, hold it in here, hold that in here. Pretty simple. Alright, once you get that set in, the next step is going to be to take these two screws out here, pull the cover off the ESC, and you're going to run this plug down the inside. You're going to move that cover there. That's where you're going to plug this into for power. Alright, so you pull the cap off and remove the motor wires to give you some more room, but you're just going to run this power cable right down, and it's going to plug in right to these pins right there. Yeah, shadow, can't see it. Yeah, that's where we're going to plug it in, then you just button it back up. Alright, after you plug everything in, there's this plastic piece right here that screws down, holds this cable out of the way. Nice little touch there. Now move on to putting all the pieces on the body side of it. We'll start getting this thing wired up. Alright guys, so when you're wiring this part up here, you actually have the option, if you're running the underglow lights, you're going to use this optional Y adapter and this plug here, wire it all in together, so it's all going to work seamlessly with no issues. Alright guys, it's not pretty yet, but it's all wired in. Everything wires to the front, to this piece here. You will no longer utilize the original power cable for the whip lights, so that's something we have to address. Everything wires in channel 1. You're going to use a Y adapter to run out of here, run the power from to the box and to the lights, and that's it. That's the optional Y adapter if you're using the underglow lights, which we are, so we're going to use that piece. Alright, so not pretty now. The only thing left to do is some cable management, and let's check this bad boy out. Alright guys, one thing I will say, kind of a pro tip if you will, when you run this bar here, the cables just run in through that hole, and if you try to run them along the roll bar here and down this way, it's not long enough to reach the plugs. So what I end up doing, is just drilling a hole in the back of the seat, run the wires out down that way, taped them up on the bottom. Look at that, pretty clean, I think. Yeah, there's a little tip for you guys who are tackling this install yourself. Alright guys, there it is. All finished up. Looking really good. Brake lights, reverse lights. Got it all. Hey, these lights are pretty bright too. It'll take a little bit of time to get installed right, but very happy with the outcome. I got a connection might be loose on that one underglow light. Yeah, I'm happy with it.